that our President, as he speaks to us before us this day, may you bless him, may you give him good health, and bless all of us. In the journey we are going to ask.
Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen of the press, we are very grateful that you could come at very short notice to join us here for a formal statement from the Azimio leadership with regard to what happened in Kenya yesterday. And as you know, it did not just happen in Kenya only. We had demonstrations also in South Africa. The only difference is that in South Africa, the demonstrations were fairly peaceful. The police were escorting the demonstrators peacefully. But here, the demonstrators were met with brutal force. And as a result, there was loss of life. We lost 2 lives. We have injuries. We have those who are in police cells. We have those who have been taken to court. And before I invite our leader to speak to the nation, I would like to request all of you to be upstanding to observe 1 minute of silence for those Kenyans who left us yesterday. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated, and I take this opportunity to welcome the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga to make the statement on behalf of Azimio. Thank you. Welcome, Your Excellency.
Members of the Fourth Estate, honorable members of Parliament, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have a statement that I'm going to read on behalf of the leadership of our movement. And I read, brutal Ruto regime now exposed. Statement on the Monday protest march. Yesterday, we had a date with destiny that was immensely successful. We wish to take this early opportunity to thank our supporters and patriotic Kenyans who turned out in large numbers to salvage our country. Our country and our democracy are much stronger because of the unwavering resolve of these patriotic citizens of our country. We also wish to express our gratitude to the media who shone a light on the demonstrations the whole day, and the Kenyans were able to see that it is the police who are violent and inciting the violence. They also informed the international community about what was happening here in Kenya. Therefore, we thank you. Very unfortunately, during this otherwise peaceful process, many of the demonstrators got hurt, and at least 2 innocent Kenyans were killed in cold blood by the police. We pass our sincere condolences to the families that lost loved ones to the police brutality. We will stand with those families in all ways, including pursuing justice on behalf of their loved ones. We will ensure that all those responsible are held to account for the lives that were cut short and the pains of those who got injured. There was an attempt on the lives of both Honorable Raila Odinga and Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka. Their cars were shot at, but luckily they were unharmed. We, however, remain horrified and disgusted by the response by the police. At a time the country is going through major security challenges in huge swaths of the country, where bandits and other criminals appear to have taken charge, We were shocked that police could assemble so many personnel and so much equipment to confront peaceful protesters. That brutality witnessed yesterday does not belong to this country. It is the more disgusting because the citizens were acting within the provisions of the Constitution, were given notice of the intention to march on Nairobi. It is impunity at its worst. We were determined to confront it as they saw yesterday. We demand the immediate and unconditional release of all our people who were arrested yesterday. We appeal to our supporters to show up and stand in solidarity with our compatriots who are being held wherever they are, including the courts. In this struggle, there is no big or small fighter. The police are clearly the last straw of brutal Ruto. Ruto's greatest aspiration is to return Kenya to the old dictatorship, where he is the unquestioned tyrant controlling everyone's life. While we condemn Ruto's brutality and the ruthlessness, we have come to the conclusion that our police shall never change unless we make them change. We therefore wish to make Kenyans know that we have put together a team of security and legal experts to examine the conduct and orders given by the police commanders to the officers on the streets that led to the brutality meted out yesterday. We shall institute legal action against individual officers who give such orders that led to the mayhem. In this regard, we decry the silence of the International Police Oversight Authority, Independent Police Oversight Authority, IPOA, and the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights on brutal use of the police. We are going for individual responsibility and culpability against officers who acted against the Constitution. So far, we have a case to file individual charges against Mr. Adamson Bungei, the Nairobi police chief. We'll press these charges locally and internationally. We'll make Mr. Bungei and his enablers understand that the days when regimes could brutalize and butcher citizens with impunity are long gone. However, we commend those among the police who showed restraint in their actions and showed respect for the rights of their fellow Kenyans. We reiterate to our supporters and all patriotic Kenyans that this struggle is just starting. We are not looking back, and we will not be intimidated. No retreat, no surrender. Our issues remain as follows, fellow Kenyans. Number one, cost of living. We will not relent until this illegitimate regime understands that the people are hurting and that their suffering must be at the center of our priorities as a nation. We will push on until the cost of food, fuel, electricity come down. Two, electoral justice. We will continue fighting the attempt to constitute a compliant electoral commission. Brutal Ruto must stop reconstituting the IEBC unilaterally and packing it with his puppets without the involvement of other stakeholders. At the same time, we demand that the 4 commissioners who are forced to resign because they differed with Mr. Chebukati on the results must be reinstated. We maintain that IEBC must open the servers and allow an independent international audit that will without doubt prove to Kenyans that Brutal Ruto did not win the last elections. 3, inclusive government. Brutal Ruto must stop the ethnicization and commercialization of the public service. We'll fight for as long as it takes to save this country from being ruled by cartels, elites, and ethnic warlords. We are determined to lead the fight for the inclusive government opportunities based on merit. 4, sacking of civil servants. Ruto must stop the victimization and sacking of civil servants whose only crime is either that they served in the previous government or that they come from particular communities. This politicization of the civil service is making career civil servants be outnumbered. It is killing professionalism and destroying the once proud civil service. We must protect our civil servants from these ills and particularly from tribal discrimination. Finally, fellow Kenyans, in the second phase of our protests, in response to public demand, we shall now hold protests every Monday and every Thursday beginning next week. We call for, secondly, we call for the boycott of Safaricom, Kenya Commercial Bank, and Radio Africa Media, particularly the Star newspaper, who have become enablers and facilitators of this brutal regime. These corporates have become the enemies of the people and are benefits. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. End of the statement. Nitaweza kuongeza kwa kifupi kwa Kiswahili. Kwanza, sisi kama Wakenya I'm just being reminded that I need to re-emphasize the final paragraph. And here I say, we call for the boycott of Safaricom, the Kenya Commercial Bank, and Radio Africa Media, particularly the Star newspaper, who have become enablers and facilitators of this brutal regime. We have the details why we are saying so, and our supporters will understand. Wacha niseme kwa muktasari kwa lugha ya Kiswahili. Sisi kama wanaazimio na Movement for the Defense of Democracy, MDD, tunataka kutoa shukrani kwa Wakenya wote kutikia wito wetu jana na kujitokeza kwa wengi kote katika nchi yetu na kufanya maandamano ya kiamani bila tuliyoitishia. Tunatoa shukrani sana. Pili, tunatoa shukrani kwa vyombo vya habari ambaye vilevile waliangaza yale ambayo yalikuwa yanafanyika jana na kuonyesha Wakenya kila kitu ambayo ilikuwa inaendelea, vile Wakenya walijitokeza, vile walikuwa wanaangamizwa na polisi, lakini Wakenya wengi ambao hawakukwako walitazama kwa runinga. Hata ulimwengu yote iliona yale yalikuwa yanafanyika hapa kwetu. Tatu, tunataka kutoa laana kwa polisi ambayo walitumikiwa kwa njia mbaya kuangaisha wananchi na kutumia nguvu ambayo ilikuwa haina maana, ambayo ilisababisha vifo wa Kenya wengine wawili, na hata vile vile ikafanya Wakenya wengi walipata majeraha. Tulisema sisi tulitangaza wazi mapema ya kwamba tarehe 20 tutakuwa na maandamano Nairobi na kwingineko, na tukaarifu polisi, tukatuma barua kwa mkurugenzi wa polisi, yani Inspector General. Pili, hapa Nairobi tukaandika barua kwa Bwana Bungei kumwarifu ya kwamba watu wetu watafanya maandamano ya kiamani jana. Kwa hivyo sisi tulifanya kulingana na sheria na katiba la nchi yetu, lakini sisi tulihuzunishwa na vitendo vya polisi. Walijitokeza kwa wingi. Tulishangaa ya kwamba wakati huu ambaye kuna shida eneo nyingine ya Kenya ya majambazi ambao wanauana na wanaua watu, polisi wangekuja kwa wengi namna hiyo hapa Nairobi, na walijaribu kuzuia watu wetu kwenda mahali walikuwa nataka waende na wakusanyike pale kwa njia ya amani. Wakatumia vifaa vya mambo ya kutawanya watu, wakatumia vyombo vingine vya kupiga wananchi hovyo hovyo. Watu wakapata majeraha, wengine walishikwa wakalala kwenye seli ya polisi. Eneo zingine wakapiga watu na risasi. Haya ni mambo ambayo sisi tulikuwa tumesazika kwenye kaburi la sahau. Kwa hivyo tunalaani polisi kwa yale walifanya. Lakini tofauti na haya, tunalaani Bwana Ruto na serikali yake kwa ubaguzi ya kikabila ambao wanafanya kwa upande ya ajira ya watumishi wa umma. Wakati huu watumishi wa umma wanaajiriwa kwa msingi ya kikabila. Kuna wengine ambayo waliamua kufanya kazi yao kwa serikali na wameshafanya kazi kwa muda mrefu zaidi. Sasa wanawachishwa kazi, na wale wengine hata wanasiasa ambayo waliwania viti na wakashindwa wanaletwa ndani ya serikali kufanya kazi. Hii inaleta chuki mingi miongoni ya Wakenya. Inagawanya Wakenya kwa msingi ya kikabila ambayo sisi hatutaki kuona kama wazalendo wa Kenya. Ndio sababu tumesema yale madai yetu yote bado yamo. Tumesema gharama ya maisha mpaka irudi chini, bei ya chakula mpaka irudi chini, bei ya mafuta na bei ya stima, kata karo ya shule mpaka irudi chini. Tumesema tumekataa Bwana Ruto na wenzake kuunda tume ya uchaguzi peke yao bila kushauriana na washikadau wengine kama sisi. Tatu, tumesema ile nyungu pale matokeo ya uchaguzi ilipelekwa mpaka ifunguliwe, yani saba. Bwana Ruto juzi anasema atio sisi tunasema ati sisi hatuheshimu IBC, tunaheshimu whistleblower kumpiga firimbi. Anamuuliza IBC ya nani? IBC ilikuwa na wanachama wa 7, Bwana Chebukati na watu watatu ndio walileta matokeo ya kusema Bwana Ruto alishinda. 4 walikataa, walipinga hiyo IBC gani? IBC ina wanachama 7 na wengi walikataa matokeo ya Bwana Chebukati. Sasa mpiga firimbi amejitokeza na akatoa wazi kinagobaga matokeo ambayo Wakenya wote wamesoma. Ndio sababu tumesema tunataka tujue ukweli iko wapi. Ndio tumesema hiyo 7 ifunguliwe, wataalamu kutoka nje waaje, wakague, watueleze matokeo ilikuwa namna gani. La sivyo hatutatambua Bwana Ruto. Sisi tumesema tunataka ukombozi. Tumeweza kuambia wafuasi wetu wote, sisi tunataka kukomboa Kenya, ili Kenya hiyo ya Wakenya. Kenya hiyo serikali ambayo inaangalia maslahi ya Wakenya wote kwa jumla, bila ubaguzi upande hii upande ile nyingine. Na hii mambo yetu itaendelea. Tumesema kuanzia wiki ijayo tutakuwa na mgomo na maandamano siku ya Jumatatu na siku ya Alhamisi. Ndio namna hiyo. Pili, tumesema ati tutasusia makampuni yafuatayo. Kampuni ya Safaricom, kampuni ya Kenya Commercial Bank na kituo cha utangazaji cha Radio Africa, hasa gazeti ya Star. Maana yake wameonyesha kwamba wanalenga upande moja na sisi wanatu bagua. Kwa hivyo haya ni uamuzi wetu. Tunaambia wafuasi wetu wote wa Azimio la Umoja, hata na watu wa MDD, ya kwamba vita yanaendelea. Aluta continua. Sasa ningependa kama kuna swali kule, ndugu Kalonzo atajibu. Nimeona endelea.
Jina langu naitwa Duncan Haemba kutoka NTV. Ningetaka kujua idadi kamili ya wafuasi ambao walinaswa jana na polisi, na kuhusiana na vyombo vya habari. Kwa upande mmoja umesema viliwajibika, na kwa upande mwingine yaonekana ni kama there is attack against the media, specifically the Star newspaper. And don't you think that in itself is a danger to members of the Fourth Estate? And then the third question, the double protests Monday and Thursday, there are those who feel like it is going to do more harm than good. Maybe your take on that.
Duncan, umeuliza maswali kadha, na kwamba tunaarifiwa kwamba zaidi wa Kenya wapatao zaidi ya 200 walinaswa kupelekwa korokoroni, na kando na waheshimiwa wakiongozwa na minority leader kwa Senate Justice Mazayo Stewart, na minority leader katika National Assembly Opiyo Wandayi. Kando na hawa viongozi, kunao wananchi wa kawaida ambao tunahimiza kwanza lazima wao pia, kwa sababu msukumo huu sio wa viongozi peke yao bali wa Kenya. This is a Kenyan affair. Swala la pili, na wale ambao wameadhirika, tunapata habari kwamba kijana William Abunga, let me just be accurate. William Mayange, third year student at Maseno University, was among those who were failed yesterday for no reasons at all, in cold blood. The excuse police wanapeana ni kwamba sijui alikuwa anataka kuvamia supermarket Maseno. This sounds familiar and unacceptable. Kama vile alivyosema ndugu Raila, stories kama hizi ni za miaka ya kale. We don't expect these stories under modern constitution 2010. Swala lako la pili na la tatu ni juu ya wananchi kususia. Kususia sio kufanya action against the media. Tuheshimu sana media, na ndiona katika paragraph ya kutangulia aliyosoma Mheshimiwa Raila alitoa furaha yetu, shukrani kwa media because you are part of this struggle. Clear indication. But there may be those who probably think that we also don't have rights. We have a right kugomea. Kugomea sio to act in isolation or anything. Absolutely not. What we are saying is fair reporting. But if you take a position, then Kenyans have also a position to take a contrary opinion, and not necessarily being in contravention or media freedom in which we believe. And as I say, the struggle is actually even media-led. So wale wa Star newspaper wakitaka kujiunga na Wakenya wenzao, we are not saying they come out and praise any leader, but let them be impartial. Because the freedom of expression, as we also recognize like other basic freedoms under our constitution, also come with responsibilities. We have been very clear and very careful on the matter of responsibilities. This is why we stress peaceful demonstrations. And it is clear it's the police who came now to demonstrate contrary, using, the freedom of peaceful demonstration, picketing, also coming as it does with the attendant also responsibilities. The police clearly chose to act against the constitution by turning up unarmed. Wananchi were unarmed, wanatoka na silaha. So they are the ones who acted in contravention. Na kwa hivyo, if there is another question, maybe Mother can take it. I hope I'm clear, Kaemba Duncan. Thank you. We are for the freedom of the media. Freedom of the press is absolutely tunaipatia kipaumbele. But we must also point out excesses. I think that is only fair. Thank you.
My name is Jeff Kirui from KTN.
Yeah, Kirui.
Yes, I have two questions. One of them is there are concerns that your supporters have been infiltrated by goons who are hell-bent on destruction of properties and looting. How are you going to address that? And then there is also the issue about the intention of the demonstration. One of the reason that was given was that we were going to march to State House. That did not happen on Monday yesterday. Is that still the intention next week, Monday and Thursday?
Kirui, I think we'll ask Mother to deal with that question. Yeah, tafadhali. Ama maybe any of my friends, Kioni, Mother, Kioni, Umalwa. Thank you. Amesahau. Rudia Kirui.
The first question.
I've remembered.
Oh.
You asked about goons. The goons are owned and hired by the government through their party UDA. The moment you see people saying, because the other side has given a notice for demonstration, we have a counter demonstration. That's euphemism that we will meet you with goons. If you look at this last week, for more than 4 days, people demonstrated peacefully in Kisumu, in Migori, in various parts of the country. Even yesterday, the demonstrations in Kisumu were so peaceful, including taking a coffin to a police station, and the police were not rattled. Where the violence occurred, these were goons. And we noticed that in the previous 2 weeks, there was a center opened, which I take was a command center for thuggery, under the auspices of UDA office. Any serious investigator will see where that violence in Kisumu came from. It was not from our members. I would also want to say this. In any country where leadership accepts and practices democracy, once a notice for demonstration is given, the police become facilitators, not obstructors. And in any period in this country, even before the passage of 2010 Constitution, I do recall times in government, demonstrators were escorted on horseback. No looting, no violence. Violence occurs where police go out on instructions to meet demonstrators with the use of unnecessary force. And that is what has happened. Protesters do not have a monopoly of instruments of violence. That remains with the law enforcement agencies. That's why we are commending the many police officers who showed restraint, but cautioning the ones who deliberately broke the law that we shall deal with them in accordance with the law. And we have given instructions to our lawyers. Now, I have again, the second one has disappeared. Can you quickly? The march to State House. May I say this, that as citizens, and if you read the Constitution, we are entitled to march to any government premises. Government means our premises, for which we fund with our taxes, to present our petitions. Even State House is not exempted. Peacefully marching there, and any self-respecting elected regime would not fear citizens. I thank you.